The Marvel Cinematic Universe is filled with larger-than-life characters that do the impossible. The Avengers are frequently responsible for the destiny of the universe and occasionally the entire multiverse. But Earth's greatest heroes aren't only powerful, they're also hilarious. So let's have some fun. Before we get further, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Alright, let's get to it. At number 10, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Although Avengers: Age of Ultron isn't as good as some of its MCU contemporaries, it does have one of the franchise's most entertaining situations and eventually punchlines. The post-party drinking session in which our heroes struggle to hoist Thor's hammer is a highlight of Ultron's first act. It's a fun method to observe how close everyone is becoming worthy, as well as Thor's reaction to Cap wobbling the hilt a little. The payoff comes in the third act when Vision effortlessly picks it up. Thor's silence is almost as good as the ticket price. At number 9, Thor Ragnarok. Thor is fighting hellish troops in Asgard. Bruce realizes that the Hulk will be of great assistance, so he prepares to leap from the spacecraft hanging over the Bifrost. He amplifies the moment for Valkyrie, who hasn't yet grasped the link between the skinny guy in a blazer and her enormous green buddy. The audience is likewise anticipating the metamorphosis as Bruce leaps, only to fall into the ground and slump into a mass of broken bones and wailing. It's the Hulk's finest introduction since I'm Always Angry. At number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy. Most parts of the Guardians of the Galaxy were unknown, but one of the most fascinating was how WWE wrestler Dave Bautista would play Drax the Destroyer. We had some reservations since the character was ill-defined in the comics and Bautista had never performed on the big screen. When the movie established the concept that Drax's people took things literally, it was a brilliant moment that Bautista was able to run with. "Nothing goes over my head," he famously retorted. "My reactions are too quick. I'd catch it," established Drax as the Guardians' comedy surprise, but it also cemented Bautista as an actor to watch. At number 7, Black Panther. We didn't know what to expect when we first arrived in Wakanda, but just because it's remote doesn't mean it can't be contemporary. Shuri quickly won our hearts in Black Panther, not just because of her confidence, knowledge, and commitment to her family, but also because of her ability to take a years-old meme and make it funny again. At number 6, The Avengers. The MCU contains two arguably important post-credits sequences. One is, of course, the Avengers Initiative, which is introduced at the conclusion of Iron Man. The second is at the conclusion of Avengers. To rescue the planet, the squad fought Loki as well as their own egos. So they gather in a shawarma restaurant to unwind in complete solitude. It's awkward and uneasy. They're fatigued after the grueling conflict, so it's natural that the moment becomes increasingly awkward and uncomfortable as it progresses. It's still a surprisingly funny piece that started the MCU's practice of innocent and comic post-credit sequences. At number 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp. There are dozens of supporting characters in the Marvel movies that can stand out while not wearing tights, but Luis outperforms them all. Scott Lang's former cellmate and current business partner has a lot to say, which occasionally leads to him running off in montage-filled tangents while telling simple stories. Those stories stole the show in the original Ant-Man, but Ant-Man and the Wasp take it to another level when Luis is given not truth serum, resulting in his biggest diatribe to yet. It's packed with wigs, flashbacks, cutaways, incredible lip-syncing, and the fastest fast-talking Michael Paya could possibly muster for what may be the ideal Luis story. At number 4, The Avengers. Loki is going to be on this list a lot, partly because it's therapeutic to see the villain become the punchline. He ultimately gets what he deserves in a spectacular Hulk smackdown after fighting Loki for the majority of the Avengers. He may boast and taunt about his strength all he wants, but he's nothing more than a puny god when it comes to the Hulk. At number 3, Thor Ragnarok. Yes, it's another scene for Thor Ragnarok, but it's one of the funniest movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thor and Loki argue like typical siblings. Most of the conflict is potentially catastrophic effects, but it may also result in cute mischief. During Thor Ragnarok, while the Avengers are debating whether to take Loki into their ranks, Thor recalls a childhood incident in which Loki, knowing Thor's fondness for snakes, changed himself into one and stabbed him. Hemsworth's impassionate whispers while both Bruce Banner and Valkyrie watch on, followed by Loki's small giggle, making this just not a defining moment for the two Asgardians, but one of the most quietly humorous moments in the whole MCU. At number 2, Thor Ragnarok. I swear this is the last Ragnarok scene. Thor is hunting for his father, and after speaking with Doctor Strange, he has the information he seeks, but he must first reunite with his brother. Loki's freed from portal hell, but his response to having been trapped for so long is surprising. YTT delights in defying viewer expectations with infantile or ordinary reactions, and Loki's recollection of the events is a mix of the two. At number 1, Spider-Man Homecoming. The most unforgettable scene in Spider-Man Homecoming occurs after the credits. After-credits scenes grew irreverent and nearly meaningless, but in the greatest sense, largely part to the shawarma sequence in Avengers, and Homecoming may feature that most disappointing one. Throughout Homecoming, Captain America is featured in goofy PSAs intended towards high school students. In this one, he addresses the audience directly, informing them that the patience is a valuable virtue, even if it leads to very little. Well guys, that's it for this one. What'd you think about it? Let us know in the comments section below. If you're new to our channel, be sure to sub and ring that bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Marvel 10s.